A very warm welcome to yet another brand new episode of Colors of India, your weekly cultural diary on Sabha TV. I am Teena Jha, bringing before you the best performances in the city in the past week. Let's begin with the highlights first. We begin this week with some classic moves, followed by an exhibition that shows the landscapes of dreams, flowery visions and an artist's ordinary life. And finally, a sneak peek into one of India's biggest arts and culture festivals. Let's first bring before you a Mohiniyattam recital by Sandra Pisharodi. The young disciple of Nirmala Panikkar, Pisharodi brings an innovative approach to the craft and content of Mohiniyattam. Mohiniyattam dancer Sandra Pisharodi put up a delightful performance at the India International Centre in the capital. She began with Ganesh Stuti, an invocation to Lord Ganesh. The graceful moves by the 22-year-old Mohiniyattam exponent seemed to have impressed the audience. Especially her facial expressions, which added a special charm to her performance.
Very neat dancer, a good dancer, and it was a pleasure to watch her. I find a lot of lyricality, grace in it. In a way, it's almost like mirroring the swaying palm leaves of the coconut leaves of Kerala coastline. And I think it just embodies the fragrance of Kerala. It's a very beautiful dance form.
Pisharodi's tryst with Mohiniyattam began when she was 5. Little did she know then that it was the beginning of a long journey. The young dancer trained under the able guidance of Guru Nirmala Panikkar. It's now been 17 years since she first began.
When I was just 5, I don't know anything like I want to particularly learn this or that. But I joined Natana Kaishiki, but from there I got a lot of inspiration. I want to be a Mohiniyattam dancer. There I decided.
Pisharodi presented five beautiful Desi or folk compositions of Mohiniyattam: Poli, Kurati, Chandamam, Easel and Mukuti. These ancient compositions of the dance form lost their popularity during the 17th and 18th century. It was Guru Nirmala Pankar who rejuvenated these indigenous compositions to keep them alive.
Actually, it is like a different category in Mohiniyattam. But they were very ancient compositions, but they lost during 17th and 18th centuries. And my guru got a lot of influences about these Deshi compositions from various books, and she revived. There are 5 Deshi compositions, that Poli, Eshal, Chandram, Kurati and Mukuti. And we could see the mother goddess worship of Kerala in these compositions, and also the influence of like very ancient traditional forms like Teyyam, Tira, Mudiyette, Kurathiyatam, etc.
While performing Poli, the dancer prays to the mother goddess to bring prosperity to the entire community. It underlines the theme of growth for all. Here, the young Mohiniyattam dancer enacts the different forms of goddesses: Kali, Neeli, Karumari and Rudra.
It's a very graceful, neat curves, beautiful dancer. And being a Mohiniyattam dancer myself, I am very glad that a new young dancer is coming up, and it looks very bright for the future of Mohiniyattam.
The piece in Kurati was also fascinating. Kurati literally translates into a woman belonging to a hill tribe. The composition describes how the dancer or Mohini attracts Lord Shiva with her beauty. ultimately deserts Parvati for a while to follow the enchantress.
Mohiniyattam, which is the dance of an enchantress. मोहिनी आप जानते होंगे विष्णु को जिसने सम्मोहित किया था, तो आज सांद्रा ने हम सबको सम्मोहित करके रख दिया है.
A thrilled audience waited for the final performance, Mokuti. Here, Pisharadi encapsulates how humans behave in their unrelenting chase for worldly pleasures. The Mukuti refers to a diamond nose ring that the dancer loses. In her search for the nose ring, she wanders from place to place. It's only at the end of the composition that the dancer realizes that her chase was futile, because true happiness or moksha lies within her and not in worldly things.
Mohiniyattam is not a very common dance style. It's from Kerala. And this little girl, she did miracle. She was so restrained, so poised, and so much of herself. There was a self-presence in her, which is a rare phenomena.
Pisharadi's elegant moves won the audience's hearts. Dance exponents and critics who were there to see the show were all praises for her. The young dancer managed to create a memorable evening for everyone. Well, Sandra succeeded in communicating the fluidity and grace of the Mohiniyattam style, her refined movements making it an aesthetic experience. Hope you liked her spellbinding performance. With that, we'll slip into a short break here. More to come on the program. Do stay with us. When we return, we show you the small joys in our everyday lives. Welcome back after the break. Next, we take you to an exhibition that celebrates life. Paris-based painter Maya Burban displayed her phenomenal paintings in an exhibition at the historic Sridharani Gallery in Delhi. She aptly called it Joie de Vivre, which means a celebration of life. So here's a sneak peek into the joys of life. One look at the exhibition Joie de Vivre and you can tell that the painter is a happy-go-lucky person. Yes, Maya Burman believes in what she does. She believes in enjoying life to the fullest. Most of her paintings depict a summer garden where there are fruit-laden trees and a group of friends hanging around them. The paintings remind us of the typical happy summer days.
We are showcasing the show of Maya Burman. She's an artist based in Paris and she does a lot of happy paintings. She's titled this Joie de Vivre, which is called Celebration of Life. So in her paintings you can see there is all celebration, vibrant colors and happiness.
To capture the joyous rhythm of life, Burman uses bright colors. The dreamy frames also have a touch of fantasy. The mixing of the fantastical and the real is what makes these paintings so majestic. The painter deliberately tries to draw attention to the little joys of life. Scenes depicting playful children or a lazy picnic by the lake spread positivity and cheer.
Very vibrant, beautiful colors, and the stamp of the family is very much there. And it reminds you of childhood. And so many paintings have little children in them and dreams and the dream sequences which are so nice and so fulfilling for you. Like just this painting behind us, the mother is there. This is probably the only painting in which I see a lion jumping on someone. Otherwise, generally, they're all full of flowers, and the workmanship is very intricate. Though I can see that this is pen on watercolors, but the workmanship is very, very intricate, very well executed.
The contemporary French painter was born into a family of artists. She has had no formal training in art, but she admits that both her father and mother gave her direction in her work. Burman is the daughter of acclaimed Indian artist Shakti Burman and French artist Maid Deltel. What also influences her paintings is her initial training in architecture. Her frames are all well balanced.
ऐसा लगा जैसे बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत की हुई है और बहुत ही सुंदर पेंटिंग बनाई हुई है। इसको गहराई से देखने से बहुत बात समझ में आती है। एक छोटी छोटी बात है जो कि कितनी उजागर की गई हैं पेंटिंग के हिसाब से।
It's not just watercolors. Burman also sometimes uses ink to give some fine details to her compositions. By her own confession, Burman tries not to glorify daydreaming and present the world like the Garden of Eden. But her paintings do have a subdued charm which evoke a sense of joy within the viewer. Well, Maya Burman's philosophy is as beautiful as her paintings. She believes in giving happiness and joy, and she believes in deriving pleasure from the small things in life. Hope you enjoyed this segment. We'll take another short break here. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. On the other side, the much-awaited Delhi International Arts Festival. Welcome back once again. The Delhi International Arts Festival is a treat for artists as well as art enthusiasts every year. The 11th edition of the festival was special. It targeted 5 million cultural consumers. The congregation of artists from different corners of India and the world was an opportunity that most Delhiites did not miss. We get you some highlights from the festival.
This 15-day mega show in Delhi attracts thousands of artists from over 26 countries. Yes, this is the Delhi International Arts Festival, the grand event that promotes brand India in the fields of arts and culture. The 11th edition of the festival was held at more than 25 different venues in the capital. The fest was first conceptualized by festival founder and director Pratibha Prahlad almost a decade ago.
I think this particular festival, as it's named as an international arts festival, is bringing in a lot of genres of different genres of art, into the capital city of India. It's not only the traditional forms; it's folk forms. There are a lot of forms from abroad that have come to perform. So I think it's kind of a treat to the eyes for the people of Delhi to be able to see such a festival.
The festival provides a global platform for young artists, musicians, and connoisseurs of culture. Here is a slice of Indonesian culture, Balinese wayang. The puppet art from Bali lures the audience.
And what did you do? I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
It is said to be one of the most popular theatrical expressions in Bali.
I've lived in different cities of India, and this is something that you don't get in other cities. There's this classical, way to connect with the Indian classical, whether it's theatre or dance or music, any other art form. You don't get this in other cities. So that's special about Delhi in particular.
The festival also brings together cultural performances from different corners of India. Here is Bharatnatyam dancer Anuradha Venkataraman performing a piece called Javali. The performance captures the emotions of a woman who is in love with an untrustworthy man. And the dance news is being warned by her friend.
In this piece, basically, the friend of the girl who is in love with a man tells her that, I've always warned you that he's not a trustworthy man, and you went against what I said, and see what he's done to you.
Dancer Vaidehi Kulkarni performs Lekha in Kuchipudi style. Here, the dancer highlights the pain of a Satyabhama who gets separated from Krishna. The piece expresses the feeling of suffocation and discomfort that Satyabhama goes through.
The dances, the Indian classical music and instrumental, all have been, tremendous.
It's a good break from all the noise of the nightclubs and the noisy places. There's a good respite from that. We don't get a lot of opportunities to watch something classical.
The festival encourages cultural ties between communities and even nations. It believes in the dictum that art doesn't belong to any one nation, but is something that binds the world.
A culmination of different forms of art, the festival is always a hit with the culturally enlightened Delhiites. It indeed has become a signature arts festival of India. With that, time for me to wrap up today's episode. Hope you liked the performances in the episode. In case you missed it, you can catch the entire episode on our YouTube link. On that note, it's time for me to say goodbye on behalf of the entire team.